The NCAA, if you don't know what the NCAA is, it's the National Collegiate Athletic Association, essentially the organization that is in charge of college athletes, right? So they updated the transgender athlete policy following Donald Trump's ban on female sports participation, right? So again, the NCAA, better known as the NCAA, updated its policy on transgender student athlete participation following President Trump's executive order banning transgender women and girls from competing in female sports. Trump's order, signed on Wednesday, prohibits transgender female athletes from participating in women's sports if the institution, aka the school, doesn't comply with these new rules, law, regulations. They risk losing federal funding. And so immediately the next day, the NCAA announced that they have a new revised policy, and now they will restrict women's sports to only, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. Essentially, now, unless you are like a assigned female at birth, you will not be able to compete in female sports, right? You can,
but you can still practice.
right? You could go to practice and like be a part of the team, but like you can't really like actually compete when it comes down to it. And here's my thing with this, right? Essentially, it's just, this isn't anything new. Trump has said he was going to do this. And again, he's doing what he said he was going to do. Mm-hmm. I have many, many thoughts on this, right? I want to start off by saying this is not for those that like are just really like truly like, oh, I don't understand the transgender community, right? Like if you are open to having like a good faith conversation about it, fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand it. Like some people might not be like well versed on the transgender community. If you've never been someone who is transgender, like it might seem like a foreign concept to you. What I'm about to say and preach is not for those people, right? What I'm about to say is more so for those that choose to be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not even trying to hear it. They're just like, oh, we want to protect women's sports, and we want to, you know, like men shouldn't be in women's sports. All of this, like just negative, hateful type of people that aren't even trying to hear it, right? So number one, Trump is using the transgender community to stoke fear upon people, right? Play the clip of this is a clip, right? Last year in Congress, the NCAA president was in Congress. I'm not really sure what he was there for, but one of the senators asked him how many trans athletes are actually a part of the NCAA. And this is the answer.
Okay, I'm about to play it.
How many athletes are there in the United States in NCAA schools?
510,000.
How many transgender athletes are you aware of?
Less than 10.
Less than 10 out of 510,000?
Yep.
So do the math on that. There are over 500,000 NCAA athletes, and less than 10 are transgender. So this whole rah, like, oh, men want to take over women's sports is like, it's not a thing. You're trying to create a problem out of something that is not a problem. Most of y'all have never met a transgender person ever, but y'all stay with transgender people in your head. Like, you know, when Cardi B, like you got a condo and yo, you don't even know a transgender person. Half of y'all don't really support women's sports, period. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all could have named me 5 college athletes, but all of a sudden y'all care so much about women and women's sports. Y'all see how America is right now? We have so many bigger issues in America. We should be worried about housing, about healthcare, about why planes are crashing all the time. Like we have just so many other issues. We should be worried about guns, not about 10 transgender athletes that are a part of the NCAA. And if you really want to, care about women so much, here are the things that we should be, again, redirecting our energy, right? Women are still fighting for equal pay. Let us focus on that. Our sitting president was found liable for sexual abuse. Let us focus on that. The mortality rate for Black mothers is still high. Again, okay? We don't get free menstrual cycle products. How about we focus our energy on that? You know how much that will help these athletes if they didn't have to worry about having to pay for their pads, for their, tampons, whatever it is that they use. Like, let me know how much do y'all have season tickets for the WNBA or for, do you go see these volleyball players? Do you go see these college athletes, women athletes? You don't. So again, I hope people understand that they are using you. They are using you for your fear. I understand if you are like, oh my God, like, what do you mean if this person was born a female and now they're a man, like they shouldn't be playing? If you're coming with a good faith argument and you really just don't get it, okay. But a lot of people are not. Donald Trump and his cronies, the Elon Musk, all these people, they are using your fear to get you to vote for them and then do all the other reckless stuff. But, oh, he saved our women's in sports, so it's okay. That is it is so ridiculous and dumb. And again, I just hope you guys I hope you guys open your eyes, because it is not the issue that we should be worrying about.
So, first off, you ate with everything, girl. You ate with every single
thing. It just makes me so mad.
Right. So my thing is, right, to your point where you talked about, it's like you got 500,000 plus athletes, and you worried about 10. It's like
less than 10.
Exactly. It's like, my thing is, it's like we are making, and this is what I've realized a lot, especially with this election, is like making something that's not a problem seem like it's a problem to make it seem like you fix something, like it's like let's say it was that 500,000 and like there was 100,000 different like transgender athletes joining the NCAA, right? It's like, that's not even the issue here. It's really not. Like, you make it something that's not an issue. And my thing is, to your point, it's like, if you, now me, like you mentioned, Shaylin, a lot of people in this world have not encountered a transgender person ever in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you got all these strong feelings and are so bothered by a group of people that you've never even met. Right. And I'm not saying that it's right for you to have those feelings. And I'm not saying it's right for you to be like, oh, like, I can't stand, like, I hate transgender people, this, that, and the third. It's like, just because you don't understand something sometimes, it's not meant for you to understand, because that's not your reality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, for me, when I went to college, I never encountered a transgender person, but I ended up becoming really close friends with someone who is transgender. And it's like, for me, I have never sat there and was just like, I don't get it. That's not my life. I like you as a person. I like who you are mentally. I like how you carry yourself. I like everything about you that makes you you. And the fact that you want to just like transition from being a woman to a man, it's like, that has nothing to do with me, because I'm not you mentally.
Yeah. And also, it's like, even women are built different, right? Like, they're like, oh, well, we don't. Let me back up. There's 2 points I want to make. Number one, I think also because people don't understand the transgender community, they have this misconception that, like, do you think, and I'm going to ask you, Rebecca, this, do you think that, like, a man, right? Like a man, a cisgender man would fake trying to be a woman just to like get a full scholarship? Like, I just think that does not make sense. Like, a man that really feels in their head that they are a man wants to compete with other men. Like, I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, because again, we all know bullying. Do you think that someone will, for funsies, want to fake act like, oh, well, no, I'm a woman, just so they can win in a sport? No, you know how much hate people in that community get. No one is gonna do that just for fun. And I understand if you don't understand the community, again, valid, but be open-minded about it. Do not drag. Another thing is like people that are like, oh, well, they have this misconception that if all of a sudden I'm around gay people, that I'm gonna turn gay. If I'm around a transgender person, then I'm gonna turn that is not how that works.
Already something that you were feeling or something that was already inside of you, it's not gonna freaking happen. And to your point, like some people who are so worried about transgender people, like some of y'all act like bitches anyway, so maybe y'all should transition.
Like,
so I don't understand what you worried about.
And then another thing is like women are just built different as well. They're like, oh, we don't want like a strong built man competing against women. Let me tell you something. Over the Olympics, if you haven't peeped my shirt, this is the USA team for basketball, women's basketball. But anyways, this is a perfect example. During the Paris Olympics, people were so irate during the boxing proportion of this, right? Because one woman lost, and I don't know what she said during a press conference, or she was just a sore loser, and sparked this whole misunderstanding that the person that beat her was a male, when she was not a male. She was a cisgender woman that, yes, maybe she does have male-like qualities, but guess what? She is a woman. I remember, again, what even like Brittany Griner, people make fun of her because she has a manly voice, but she is a woman. She's just a tall woman. You know what I mean? Like, and yes, does that give her an upper hand against other women in the league? Yes. Like, there's always going to be different things of your body that make you different. Simone Biles, the reason why she's able to, aside from her obviously being super like just great at what she does, but a lot of other people can't do the things that she does because she's just shorter, right? So she is able to do all these extra flips that women that are probably taller just can't do because of their physical traits. So this whole notion of like, oh, well, we don't want a guy who has XYZ because they're going to have the upper hand. Well, even cisgender women have different qualities. There are taller girls. There are girls with wider shoulders. There are, you know what I'm saying? So obviously the girl who has wider shoulders is probably going to be better at swimming. And that's just, so now what? So we're going to have to, well, only the girls with shorter shoulders can swim, and the girls with medium shoulders swim together. Like, let us be for real. And again, if you have a valid, hesitation because you don't know a transgender person, just be open-minded, but don't let this Trump fear and these Trump lies that it is an issue get in the way. And if you don't like something, just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to talk to a transgender person, I prefer you be open-minded and, learn about it, but also like mind your business.
And my thing is, like, to your point, like, I have never been so bothered by a different group so much to the point where like it affects my day to day. Like, I could walk into any room, see people of multiple races, someone who's a transgender, be a whole room of like anybody. It does not matter to me. I will go on my phone, sit there and scroll. I will say hello to everyone because that's what having respect is. I honestly, and like that's the key of minding your business, is realizing that you can only worry about you. I can't worry about everybody else because I don't look to also.
It's ridiculous, and it's just, it makes me mad because Trump is literally using you. Not you, but like these people. And again, and another big element of this, and I'm not even going to open that can of worms, but I'm just going to mention it, is religion. Just know that God, if you believe in God, then you also believe that God created us. So you should know that you are no one to be judging other people. Okay, but we're not even going to get into that, T.